welcome to another episode of Veritas. My name is Jessica Lubianski, and I am so honored to be joined today by Deacon Ray Jimenez. He is a deacon here in San Antonio, Texas, actually at Mission Concepcion. And so thank you for being here, Deacon Ray, and welcome. How long have you been a deacon?
I've been a deacon here for 16 years. I was ordained in 2004. This has been my home. This is where I met my wife. This is where I've always been, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience.
So in a sense, this is really where you took your vows for your primary vocation right here, where we were standing?
Well, we were ordained as a class. We were ordained at St. Bridget's, but this was my assignment here at Mission Concepcion.
Oh, I meant to your wife.
Oh, my wife. Oh, yes.
Because this is where you were married. That would be your primary vocation. So we're standing here where you took your vows for your wife. So that is pretty awesome that you're now here able to serve your community. And I think that, deacons are so vital, especially with our shortage of priests right now. And deacons do such generous and great work. And sometimes we don't see everything that deacons do. So thank you first and foremost for your vocation and for serving our diocese and for serving this parish. How did you decide that you even wanted to become a deacon?
Well, it was interesting because when I was growing up, I always thought I could maybe become a priest. I had an inkling of maybe priesthood was something I wanted to do. My mom would remind me that I would play mass when I was little, and I would use the little sweethearts as the hosts, and unfortunately bore my little sister, my brother, with my homilies and all. But as I grew older, I just felt there was this nudge of serving God in some way. I was in the seminary here in Assumption for about 6 months. Father David Garcia at the time was the vocation director. I happened to know him through search retreats, youth retreats, things like that we have done. When it was time for me to get married, I called on him, and so we were married here at Mission Concepcion. My faith journey has been long. It's been a process of just discerning and just kind of trying to listen to where God was kind of leading. I worked with Adult Probation and rose up the ranks, and I retired years ago as an assistant chief. And I saw that as a ministry, working with people on probation, working with the families. But even at that time, I felt there was something more I needed to do in the church. In the late 70s, I worked here as a music director and youth minister. And that's kind of when I met my wife, because she was a parishioner here at the time. And she was in the choir at the time. So we got to meet, and so we dated, and we're eventually married here. And Father David Garcia, as I mentioned, performed our marriage. And so this place has been a very special place. It's been a very enlightening, transformative time for me. I always appreciate the people, the community, just working with various people. It's just been wonderful, just being open to where God is leading. And I think that's always, sometimes the fear is where is God leading me? And sometimes we have to go and trust that He's going to lead us in the right direction. And I think that's where it's important that we reach Victor, that we pray often, that we just kind of reflect and kind of look at our lives and look back on our lives and see where the hand of God has been.
That's awesome, and that's great advice, especially for our young church today. I think it's so important that in our vocations that we realize that we're here ultimately to serve God's people, that God chose us above every other thing in the world to bring glory and honor to Him. I once had a friend, and I had called on her to be a volunteer. I'm a youth minister, so I asked her to be a volunteer. She goes, you know what, right now, I can't do that right now because my ministry is taking care of my sick mom. And you brought a good point that whatever vocation we choose, that we have a ministry that we can find within it, whether it be to care for one another or to, serve like you were as a probation officer. We're called to serve and love one another. So what are some things that you do now as a deacon in your vocation to serve?
Well, I'm the pastoral delegate here at Mission Concepcion, but I think I'm one of the only deacons, if not the only deacon in the Archdiocese, that's kind of responsible for a parish. Father Michael Buzugard, who's at the seminary, comes and does our masses on Sunday, but as far as the administrative work, just kind of reaching out to the communities, seeing what the needs are of my community here, is kind of how I respond. I really enjoy the marriage preparations that I do, the baptism preparations that we do. But, I work full-time as a hospice chaplain, which takes me outside of just this community. But it certainly, I think for myself, has just given me a sense of what is the priority in my life, what is most important in my life. And to trust that we provide a spiritual presence to people, that we are able to pray for people. One of the things that I first learned when I got into the chaplaincy was to basically shut up and just listen, and just be a presence. Sometimes that's all people need, is just somebody to hear them out, somebody to vent, somebody to pray with. And so all of these things I've been able to enjoy doing as a Catholic. Every day is a blessing, every day is an adventure, every day you never quite know what God's going to lay out for you, but it's always been good.
Yes, amen. And if you, I'm going to ask one last question. If you had any advice for someone that was young or young church that's discerning what to do in their life, or if they're being called to the priesthood, or maybe if they're being called to marriage, what advice would you have for those young people that are discerning right now and may not know what to do in their life?
I think the important thing that I would suggest is at first that they listen, that they make time in their lives to pray and to be quiet and just to allow the Spirit to kind of nudge them. All of us have gifts. All of us have been blessed with different skills, and I think God uses those in ways that allow us to be happy in what we are called to be. And so, you don't have to be good at 100 things. You just need to know where you are, what you enjoy, and how can I serve God? How can I serve my brothers and sisters in that way? So I would suggest they pray. I would suggest they just be quiet for a while. That's tough for young people, but just to do that and to talk to people that they see that they may not know quite well, that they see what they're doing, that, could I do that? And learn about that, and speak to those people to see, what do you think? How do you see me? Do you think I have the skills? But the most important thing is always how God calls us. God calls us in so many different ways, and to do so many different things. That I enjoy my brother deacons because they are so involved in so many areas in our community in terms of the work that they do, but they're all called to bring people to God. And it's such a blessing, and it's a transformative experience. I think people sometimes are fearful of that, but if they trust God, He always will lead you in the right way.
Awesome. Well, thank you for giving us a glimpse into your life as a deacon and for sharing that great advice. My challenge to you viewers this week would be just to sit quiet, like Deacon said. Take some time just to listen so that you can go out in the world and glorify God. Please, if you'd like these videos, continue to follow today's Catholic newspaper on YouTube and hit the subscribe button for our latest notifications. Thank you again, Deacon, for joining us and for your vocation.
God bless you. Thank you.
Host of Veritas, and I want to invite you to participate in a really awesome episode that we have coming up. We will have a panel with seminarians from the Archdiocese of San Antonio, and we would like to ask them questions that you, our viewers, have. Anything you've ever wanted to ask a seminarian, let us know. comment below in the chat, and we will try to get all of those questions answered on a one-on-one question from seminarians. Please like and share this video. That way, whenever we do post the seminarian panel, you will get the latest updates and be able to see your questions answered. Follow us on today's Catholic Newspaper YouTube channel.